Okay, let's see here. Let me get this started. Okay, I believe we are live. Welcome, everybody. How are you? So, my name is Jorie Houlihan, and it is Topic Tuesday. So, every Tuesday, I come on here live at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time to talk about something ADHD related. I am your guide for the dopamine deprived. And today, we are going to be talking about capacity versus capability. So, my latest podcast episode came up and it aired today, and I interviewed an amazing professional organizer. Her name is Mindy Leonard, and she has a business called Super Organized Spaces. And one of the things that we talked about was helping people understand the difference between what they're capable of and what their capacity is. So, people with ADHD, we often feel we feel this pressure to always be, knocking it out of the park, in part because we have been accused of being lazy, among other things. And so we always feel this need to take it to the next level, et cetera, et cetera. And we don't really, first of all, we don't need to do that, right? But let me explain to you what the difference is first between capacity and capability. So, capability is what you are able to do in your best self, right? Like, this is absolutely what you are capable of when all things are aligned and everything is working in your direction. You've got good sleep, you've got good energy, you've been eating well, et cetera, right? This is what the best that you can do. Whereas capacity is what you are capable of in that moment. Okay? It is what your energy is like in that moment. It is when so let me give you an example. Let's say most days at your job, you work in customer service. Okay. And most days you're really great with customers and you are like, people like call the company to tell people and beyond for people. And you're just really good at what you do. The difference is that with capacity, maybe one day you had a terrible night's sleep. And so your energy just isn't as good, right? And so maybe some things slip through the cracks, right? Or maybe you get a little short with somebody because you're tired and a little grumpy. So that's the difference, right? And so when we were talking about this in terms of organization, we were talking about, first of all, how important it is to take breaks. You will hear me talk about that all the time, and there's a reason for it, right? It's super important to take breaks because that increases your capacity so that you are capable of doing more things. So when you can take a break and then come back to it, it works much better than if you just try to work straight through. Because the longer you try to work straight through, forget about it. Like, it is if you work like 2+ hours, when you finally do take a break, your brain's like, yeah, we're done. It's hit its capacity. Now, is that what you're capable of? In ideal moments, when you didn't do that, if you had given yourself a break, you would be capable of more. But because you didn't take the break and you burned yourself out a little bit, your capacity is down, right? And so when she works with her clients, when they're like starting to declutter, for example, she'll set a timer for 20 minutes. And maybe the person's like, you know what, I can still go. So she'll say, okay, let's set this for another 20 minutes. And then at that point, then she'll say, okay, let's take a break. And then she'll set a timer for the break. And we talked about how important it was to know exactly what you are planning to do. Like, write it down. This is exactly what I'm doing when I come back. Don't be vague. Don't be saying things like, oh, well, I'll just keep working. Way too vague. You're going to come back and you're probably going to walk into what probably looks like a mess if you're decluttering, and you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to follow through. So, you want to The real danger zone with this is when you have a situation that has high complexity, right? Maybe there's a lot of moving parts, but you have low capacity, meaning that you are tired, you're not feeling well that day. Maybe you're coming down with something, whatever it is. Maybe you just have a lot of stuff going on in your life at that time. So that's where you really need to start paying attention to that, because that's where things can really go ajar, if you will. Okay, so what are some things that you can do to help with this, right? So as I mentioned before, taking breaks, working, maybe just starting off with 20 minutes. I wouldn't go longer than 50 minutes personally, but between 20 and 50 minutes work, and then take a 10-minute break and time the break, because you'll forget you're on a break. You'll just get distracted with something else. And I say this because I've lived this. So I know that of which I speak. So you always want to make sure that you also time the break. And again, leave yourself a note. This is what you're working on when you come back. Those two things make such a big difference. I can't even tell you. And my other two rules are, don't wait too long to take the first break, right? That's why we say 20 minutes to 50 minutes to start. And also no sitting. At least don't sit on something comfortable, like a nice comfy couch, right? That's the kiss of death. You're going to get on your phone, start doom scrolling, and you're going to be like, work? What work? What decluttering? I don't know what you're talking about. Again, ask me how I know this. So, but I wanted to clarify what the difference is between capacity and capability, because so many people think it's the same thing. And again, they think that they always have to be working at their best self level. And no one is capable of that, by the way. And as I've mentioned before, I believe anyway, people with ADHD our energy just works differently. So things that neurotypical people don't maybe get stressed out about, we do. Okay? Things that some people consider to be quote unquote easy, we may find to be challenging. And so it can get us emotionally dysregulated. It can get us overstimulated. It can just create overwhelm. And that's going to deplete your energy much faster than if that wasn't happening. So understanding that your circumstances, your hormones, your stresses, your life, life's, right? Those all impact your capacity. That doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just means that you're not going to be able to be capable of doing what you would do if all those other factors were not involved that day. I hope this is making sense. What I'm really just trying to say is, don't judge yourself by your worst day. Okay? And way too many of us do that. We really beat ourselves up when we're having a low energy day, or we're not getting as much done as we had hoped, etc. And that first of all, that doesn't serve you. And it's only going to actually deplete your energy more. Okay. So watch the self-talk, talk about that a lot too. Again, there's a reason for it. And just be sure that when you are having those low energy days, it may just downshift it a little bit. Maybe instead of doing all the things that you wanted to do that day, say, okay, what is more of a low, what would I say? Like a low ticket item. That's not really what it is, but like a low energy thing that I can do today. Because sometimes too, maybe just getting started doing with something can get your energy going. But some days we just don't have it in us, and that is okay. I really need to stress that. It is okay. Now, if this is happening every day for a long period of time, then I would get worried and I would probably see your doctor. But if you're just having a low energy day, just work with it where it is. Don't always, you can't always work at the person that you want to be every single day. It just doesn't happen. Okay. So another thing that you can do to get started with this is one of the things that Mindy mentioned, because I said, well, how do you, what do you do with people who maybe they've tried to declutter in the past, but they haven't been very successful at it. Maybe they get going and then they lose steam or whatever. And she said something that I thought was brilliant. And I don't know why I hadn't thought of this before. pick a low emotion area to start first. She's like, pick like your bathroom drawer, right? Nobody's going to be sad that you threw out an old tube of toothpaste that should have been thrown out a while ago, right? Nobody's going to miss that, right? Go through and throw out all of the duplicates. If you have things that are brand new, maybe consider donating those. We'll talk about how to donate in a way where like the stuff isn't sitting in your trunk for 2 years in another episode. But just start with an area that has no real emotional grit to it, right? Your pantry. Nobody's going to care if you throw out old spaghetti that's been sitting there for 3 years. No one cares, right? So that's where you want to start. That makes it much easier to continue going. And so often we start with these like big areas that have a lot of emotional things to it, and it wipes us out. It really wipes us out. And so when you can start with something that is low emotion, that has more of a lower emotion impact, you're going to get a lot more done in less time. And then you can work on the things that are more emotional. But now you've got the momentum, right? And so that will help you to maybe not get as caught up in the emotional stuff as you might have before. But even if you do, you got a whole lot of other things done first, right? And also remember that done is better than perfect. And done is also data. So if you are working on something and you worked on it for 15 minutes and found yourself kind of wiped, say, okay, so I was wiped after 15 minutes. First, ask yourself some questions like, is there something going on today that, maybe is depleting my energy more? Maybe the task itself was pretty intense. And then say, okay, next time, maybe I'll just do it for 10 minutes and see how that feels, right? It's just data. It's all about being curious about yourself and how your brain works so that you can work to the best of your abilities, right? With the energy that you have. All right. So I think that is it. So what is something that you might work on today that would be in the, low emotion area that might declutter a little bit of your house? Like how many of you are going to start with the bathroom drawer? I actually just did that, and it was really cathartic, I have to say. Okay, hold on one second here. Let me just see. Kind of let go of scarcity mindset when throwing things away. I deserve pasta. That isn't 3 years old. I love that. Yes, Hannah, old skincare products. Oh my gosh. Ladies, I know you just have a vat of skincare things that are sitting underneath your sink or in a drawer that you could just toss, right? And I always say something like, thank you for whatever it was you gave me when I bought you, but it is no longer serving me. And then I throw it away, and it usually makes it feel much better, right? Even things that maybe have a little bit of an emotional thing to it, always sort of have gratitude. I'm a big fan of gratitude, y'all. Have gratitude for what it gave you at that time, but also say, and now I have moved on and I appreciate everything you did for me. Toss. And it's an inanimate object. It's really not going to care. I know in our brains, we're like, but it'll feel bad. Or maybe that's just me. I don't think it is. Anyway. So I hope that you guys got something out of this. And so definitely let me know in the comments, like what is an area you're going to maybe work on today for like 20 minutes. Maybe even post a before and after picture. I would love that. I would love to see what you guys are doing. Please do that. I would love to see that. Okay, so that's it. So next week, what are we talking about next week? I think next week we're talking about body doubling. So we will see. But anyway, I really do appreciate when you guys come on here with me, and I hope that you're getting something out of this. And if there are other topics that you want me to cover, also put those in the comments so I can see where I might be able to fit them in. All right, so that's it. Have an amazing week, and I will. If you are watching me on Substack, tomorrow is our live Q&A tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. So I hope I will see you there. All right, have a great day.